Welcome to another edition of Small Talk for You. This morning in Squeak I wanted to take a look at the browser, and to get there, if you left click anywhere in the background here, you'll get an option to come up, and one of them will be browser. Let's just pick that. It'll open up the typical Smalltalk 4-pane browser. It's a little bit different than the browser in Pharo, so let me go through that. Over here you have categories. In a given category I have classes. Over here I have categories of methods. If I don't select anything, I have all methods over here. If I select all, obviously I have all methods as well. But I can isolate them down by category if I want to. And finally, I can select a method and get the source. Now, there are a couple of other interesting things you can do. And if you float the mouse over these buttons down here, it'll tell you what these things do. So if I float this mouse over here, it'll say, yep, view this one method in a browser. So I get that one method, it'll pop it up. So let's close that. I can do senders and implementers, so all the places where print on stream is sent, or any of the other methods in that. Let's try that, and that'll give me that browser on those 4 senders. And likewise, I can get implementers. If I were doing work and I had a lot of versions, I could browse those. In this case, it's only going to be the one. I can look at the inheritance, and it's going to browse the inheritance, and it's going to tell me up here, you see various colors indicate various different things, and you can read that and see what that indicates. And you can see here, all of that stuff is color indexed by the syntax, so I can look at this and immediately see how different things are arranged. So let's close that. Hierarchy I can look at. If I get a different browser, it can show me where this thing sits in the hierarchy. Instance variables, class variables, and source is kind of interesting. If I pick this, I'm looking at the source. I can look at the documentation. I can go down to pretty print it, and it'll pretty print this method for me. I can come down and show the diffs. If I had differences, it'll show me what's changed. And apparently there has been a change in this image, but not a very important one. It's been changed from the underscore to the colon equal. If you go back far enough in time, the underscore was what the left arrow used to be, and Squeak has slowly been trying to get rid of that. If I come down here to decompile, I can get decompiled code, so I can see if what I'm looking at is significantly different from the decompiled, and hopefully it's not. And I can look at the bytecodes if I'm really interested. I can look at how this thing actually executes in the virtual machine, and that's kind of interesting, although not terribly often something you need to look at. But that's kind of a brief overview of the browser in Squeak, a little different than the one in Pharo. If I come over here, a couple of things you want to keep in mind that are different. Even though I'm on OS X, if I want to deselect, I don't hit Command. If I hit Command click, I get the halos. If I want to deselect, I either just select it again or I can Control click. So it's a little different. It's kind of the way VisualWorks used to be. So if I want to deselect, I just select and then select again. It deselects. And that's, again, different than what you're probably used to on OS X, and on Windows, of course, you'd expect Control click to do that, but it's just the way Squeak is, a little different. So, that's about it for today. Until next time, have fun with whatever Smalltalk you're using.